Howdy, everybody. It is Friday, the year of our Lord, August 9th, 2024. It's another commentary. As we promised this week, we did a commentary on Wednesday. Todd, what did we do?
Vampires. John Carpenter's Vampires.
And we promised you that we were going to do not one, but two commentaries. And we're going to do it at least next week, too. We wanted to just do a block of commentaries. We're putting the Video Rot podcast on a break so we can blast out some commentaries, have some fun with you guys. And per the polling, you guys all voted for Zombie. This one was pretty close with Bad Taste. It wasn't like John Carpenter Vampires, where it was pretty much a clean sweep on across all platforms.
And I thought we were going to do Dead Alive in there too, but we'll probably do that another time. Throw that in there.
Oh, did I not put Dead Alive in the vote?
You put Bad Taste.
But we only did 3, and then we did Manchester Morgue. So
yeah,
because we just kept it to 3. So, and you said
Bad Taste isn't a zombie movie.
Did I put Bad Taste on accident? Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Instead of maybe that's why this won.
That's all right. This is one of the best zombie movies ever.
All right, so I was tampering with the election, folks. It's ridiculous. I meant before I started this one, I meant to fiddle with my camera settings to look all good like Todd, because I think he turns up the saturation or something on his.
I kick it up a few notches. I think I'm on like 55, 56.
Yeah, I can tell. It's a little late for me. He always looks like I don't know, Trump compared to me, just glowing.
Do you like my worm eye zombie back here?
I mean, I can see it now that you back up. Yeah, it's cool. Why don't you pull it up closer to you? Have it up here for the stream, dude. Yeah, there you go.
Right next to me, dude.
Yeah, keep it on display. So we're gonna get started. Todd told we included the link in. If you're watching this after the fact, there's a link in the video description of where you can watch it. There's an abundance of places you can watch it. This film's on Tubi if you don't mind ads. There's a really crappy like 7th generation VHS copy on archive.org, but it does the job, I guess. And then we found this version on YouTube without ads, which is great. So there's an abundance of places to watch it. And if you are watching live, thank you. We do these live. As you can see, we're doing Wednesday, Friday. Wednesday's 8:30 Central Time, Friday 10:30 Central Time. And keep letting us know what you want to see. We'll keep throwing out polls and letting you vote. And let's go ahead and get started, everybody. We're going to get started. Cue it up. I think this YouTube video just kicks right off, right?
Kicks right off, yep.
No studio logos, all right? So if you're watching a DVD copy or a Blu-ray copy or the Blue Underground 4K copy, skip all that BS, because we are starting the flick officially in 3, 2, 1, play. All right, so this is one of Todd's favorite movies of all time, so do not fail us now, Papa Todd.
No, I will not fail you. So this
great opening.
Fantastic. It's kind of foreshadowing of what's to come a little later in the film.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, the zombie, Fulci, zombie, aka Zombie 2, aka Zombie Flesh Eaters, aka this was everything. So a lot of people think this is like a Dawn of the Dead ripoff, which they were riding the coattails of Dawn of the Dead for this movie.
But they were voodoo. This is like a voodoo curse. It's nothing.
Yeah. So basically, this was in production at the same time Dawn of the Dead was starting to wrap up their production. So they saw Romero and Argento were cooking something up. And I guess there was a huge buzz over there in Italy and everything for Dawn of the Dead coming out.
Yeah.
So producers were like, okay, we got to put something out. So we're gonna start throwing a zombie film together. And I guess
that's why they had to call it Zombie 2, because Zombie was the name of the Romero Argento over there. So there was like a naming issue. Yeah.
So they ended up, the producers ended up finding, so Fulci was not the first choice as a director. So there was actually, he's the third choice in the director, which I find kind of interesting. He was, at the time, Fulci really didn't, he was doing comedies a lot, and he really didn't jump into like the horror genre. So they ended up getting a script and redoing it just to add zombies to it. So we'll see here in this movie, like, it's kind of inconsistent. It's kind of weird, the fact that you don't know if this is a voodoo zombie movie or an infection zombie movie.
Until the end.
Well, yes, but I mean, they don't explain it because they think there's a curse slash uh
Oh, I thought
thing,
I seem to remember the doctor confirming it was a curse on the island.
but it's not. It's kind of an infection because I mean they're
Oh,
transmitting, they're biting their victims and they're
and
also
yeah,
dying and coming back. So and then they're dying and coming back to life without getting bit. So there's a lot of like holes in this, but I kind
mhm,
of enjoy that fact that kind of keeps you guessing on what's the origin of this
yeah.
zombies. But
And to speak of Dawn of the Dead too, how do we know that that wasn't a voodoo curse? They don't explain it, right? So
yeah.
how is some shaman somewhere 1,000 miles away that caused everything?
So now we're pretty much seeing a boat here, and this is it looks like just an abandoned boat in New York City, like the harbor or whatever. And we'll see coming up, but there's people that are there's cops that end up jumping on board and finding out that the owner of the boat was a scientist, and the scientist happens to be on the island. um, they don't know. They don't find anybody on the boat except a zombie itself, and then they end up contacting the owner of the boat's daughter, saying like, "Your dad's boat's here. We don't know where the hell he is."
Mhm.
So she ends up coming up here to try to find her father, and then while she's doing this, she meets a reporter. Of course, the reporter gets a wild hair, and he wants to know what the hell's going on with this story about somebody getting killed on the boat, zombie on the boat, that sort of thing. Where did the father go? And then it just kind of flows from there. But this
Yeah.
is a really cool opening scene, I think.
I appreciate how fast it really gets to everything.
Yeah.
We had the pre-title thing with the gunshot and the sack over the head, which that pulls you in instantly. And then the first scene here, I love this boat zombie. It's really cool.
And the boat zombie, they actually have another mask. I was thinking about getting the boat zombie too because it looks, man, these zombies look awesome, dude. I mean,
Who makes the mask you got? Is that Tots or who does that?
this was a Tots one, yeah,
Okay.
and it turned out pretty good. I mean, the sculpt and the mold and the eye and everything looks pretty
Mhm.
sweet, so I like it.
Gamer Guy says, and to think this spun off into its own thing. There's like 5 of these zombie films. So yeah, I actually have a DVD box set of Zombie 3, 4, and 5 or something like that. Like I think it's 3, 4, 5, or I don't think it's
Which
2.
Fulci only did this in three, and three sucked. I mean, three was at kind of the twilight of his career when he was
Mm,
making a lot of shit, but
yeah.
this was, of course, amazing. This is probably my favorite Fulci film, but he has a lot of good stuff out there. Um, when's the first time you saw this?
Oh, I didn't see this for the first time till last year.
Really?
Mm-mm. I didn't really see I like I said there when I was watching it, it seemed a little like I was having these flashbacks. So it might have been a movie I have seen at some point because I used to watch a lot of creature features, but when I was younger,
Yeah.
so it's possible I had seen it, but officially, I'll say last year. I think I watched it with Joe Bob. I think, if I'm not mistaken, and then yeah. So, and this is one of those movies that Todd's talked about for decades, and I don't know why I just never watched it.
Yeah. So this is pretty much the police are investigating this boat, discover a zombie on board. The boat belongs to the missing scientist whose daughter's Annie. And then they team up with the reporter Peter. So, and yeah, so basically they see the zombie, and then they kind of hold the boat for evidence, and then that's when Annie and the Peter come and show up on the boat. The first time I saw this film was, gosh, I think I was 15,
Yeah.
and I purchased the VHS. It was an Anchor Bay VHS,
Hmm.
based off the cover. Of course, I was big into zombies at the time. It was a Best Buy. I saw the cover. It was in a nice clamshell, and man, looked awesome. And I'm like, what the hell is this? This zombie looks awesome. And
Yeah, it's got
ever
one of
since
those.
then, man, it's
Well, I
uh,
think you've been wearing a zombie T-shirt for as long as I've known you, and
yeah.
hey, is this bootleg Robert Zadar before he got stung with a bee, and then
It looks
in
like
the
it.
face, and then we got bootleg David Carradine up top.
Oh, there's a fat
He is
boat zombie.
Yeah, it's really creepy, dude. I don't know what it is, but if I'm getting mauled by a zombie, something about being obese kind of makes it worse because I'm like, he's really gonna eat me.
Yep.
Like, he's really gonna devour me, and he's gonna not get full.
And that whole neck bite scene, I mean, that just screamed Dawn of the Dead for me the first time I saw it. I'm like,
Yeah,
it's just like the opening of Dawn of the Dead.
yeah, down to the red blood too.
Yeah. Which the special effects in this are awesome. I mean, they're top tier. Try to think who did the special effects for this. It was
Joe Mama.
Gianetto Del Rossi. He did the
Okay,
makeup and special effects, which he also did Cannibal Apocalypse, which I love that, and he did House by the Cemetery and Piranha 2. So.
nice. Gamer guy, I think I got the VHS from Riverman at Crypticon. Then I found the Blu-ray at a thrift store. There you go.
So I gave him the VHS because I lost the sleeve of the cover of it, like some time back, and I don't know. I only keep certain VHSs anyway, so.
Well, I think you would keep this because you love it so much.
Yeah, but I didn't have a cover. It was just I don't know. Yeah. The whole appeal to it was not there for me if I don't have it intact. Let's just say that.
We're gonna see a Fulci cameo.
Yep, and there he is, R.I.P. Fulci, and he died in 1996 of diabetes. So he slipped into a diabetic coma and passed away at 68. Mm-hmm. And I guess he was battling a lot of health issues in the 80s. And yeah, he just it's a shame because I'd love to see him at conventions. You know, I mean, he was 68 and 96, which he was pretty old at the time, but I would have loved it to at least, met him at a convention.
He'd be pushing 90 now, but yeah. But, I've been doing the convention thing pretty hardcore for a decade, so he could have easily done some. But Argento doesn't really do a lot of conventions. What does he do?
Very rarely I see him do cons. I wish he did because I'd love to meet Argento.
And I'm sure he just does like really big ones or something. He's not going to come to like they quoted earlier, Crypticon or some shithole like that.
Yeah.
I said it, a shithole.
Yeah, their guest list is pretty weak this year, man. I'll tell you what.
Yeah. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
So like I said, I'm a bit of a late bloomer to this one, but I really liked it. And who knows? My taste change as I get older. It's very possible that I might have watched, if I would have watched this when I was a kid like Todd, I might not have liked it. As I've gotten older, my palate's changed because, Todd actually introduced me to Dawn of the Dead in high school. And I think who's to say? I like Dawn of the Dead when I first saw it in high school. It's possible I would have liked this just as much, but I'm not so sure about that. Dawn of the Dead really set a palette for me.
Yeah.
And it helped me appreciate all these types of movies later. So I think Dawn of the Dead was the right first movie.
I agree. And Dawn of the Dead has their characters are phenomenal. I mean, these don't have the strong characters or anything like that. This has the effects. I mean, they're awesome. The zombies are cool. I mean, some people like the blue zombies. Some people like the voodoo zombies. Personally, I think the voodoo zombies look a lot cooler than a lot of, some of Romero's zombies. But Romero's storytelling was just, so much better.
Yeah, I still like the blue zombie.
I do too.
There's something about it I really, really like. I think they're super iconic. They look great. They look really creepy in this. They have a DIY feel about them. These aren't like Day of the Dead zombies or anything. Like when they start coming from the grave in a little bit and stuff like that, like the cover zombie doesn't look as good as he does in the cover. He looks kind of like
I don't know, man. He looks pretty solid. I think the worm-eyed zombie is one of the coolest zombies ever.
They look kind of mummified. They just have an interesting look about them. But I like the blue zombies. I like these zombies too. It's all good for me.
But those zombies that actually came up were like old conquistadors, so they're supposed to be like
the Spanish
old Spanish,
which makes sense. Yeah, that's why they'd be all mummified and dusty looking. Yeah, I guess you're right. Got Richard Pryor here. Look, all the heavy hitters are in this flick.
Mm-hmm. Now they were saying for these zombies that they were just pretty much just caking on the makeup, just like having chunks of makeup.
It looks like
a lot of it is, yeah.
And then like you can kind of like see it kind of peeling off, and and that's probably the effect they want. The skin,
which I thought it looked cool. I mean, that's
Let's see, gamer guy. The opening with the boat is kind of shades of Dracula. A boat floats into harbor and no living humans and an undead passenger. Yeah, I can see
Mhm.
that. What's that last Dracula movie they came out with last year that I think most people didn't like? Voyage of the what was it called?
Voyage of the Demeanor or something, or
Yeah, I didn't see that.
I didn't either.
We've talked about it when we were discussing the upcoming Nosferatu film, but I'm so Draculaed out. I love Dracula. I think Dracula's a great character.
Mhm.
It's just the story, it being public domain, everybody's had their fingers on it, and it's just been adapted so many times. It just someone needs to do something exciting with it. So hopefully that's Eggers with Nosferatu. Is he getting a wood? What's going on here? Getting a bunner?
He's coming back to life.
Getting a bunner? A bunner?
Yeah, so if I ended up rewatching the 4K last night, and man, it
Mm.
looks beautiful on 4K. I'll tell you
I
what.
I still haven't watched my 4K. I have the Blue Underground 4K, and I still haven't watched it. And I maybe I should have, but I was too busy watching the Opera 4K from
Mm.
that I picked up from Severin. I watched that last night, but yeah, I should have watched this too because I watched it on Joe Bob, which just means I'm probably going to push off watching the 4K, and it was probably I'll watch it eventually.
I'll have to watch the Joe Bob. I didn't know he did this and see what he says about Fulci and all that.
Mendoza, one of our favorite listeners. You're all our favorite listeners, but Mendoza is an old favorite listener. He says the blonde guy in this movie is cute. Fun fact,
Oh,
Riverman told me he lost his hand virginity to that guy on this film. He loved
oh,
that.
Peter the reporter.
He loves
Yeah,
Peter the reporter. He blew
I
like a
love
volcano.
I love Peter. I love Bobby. I love all
I
the
love and
Bradys
Greg.
and
Yeah, and
Greg.
Greg.
Yeah.
It's not for this podcast, but did I ever tell you the time Dr. Sleaze got high with Greg Brady in Branson, Missouri?
Oh, I love that, man. That is so funny. I tell people that all the time. Like the Brady Bunch comes on, I'm like, hey, Aaron's brother got high with
Greg
Greg
Brady
Brady.
in a shitty studio.
So he was touring he had a residency in Branson.
Yeah, doing that Johnny Bravo shtick. I don't know if it was a residency, but yeah, I guess it is. I guess they're all residencies. They don't really
Yeah,
tour.
yeah,
Yeah, he did at a time. I mean, where else do these fucking losers go to die? Branson.
yeah.
But, which, by the way, that town's got to clean itself up. That whole generation, they're dying off, and they just built like a new outdoor arena for that whole area. And the Stones just played there in
Mhm.
Branson. That's freaking wild,
That's
man.
crazy.
So Branson died with Andy Williams, so they really need to get on and just push it out and get it young and hip and all that stuff. Anyway, yeah. So which one of these chicks? I can't remember. Which one of these chicks is Mia Farrow's sister? Is it her?
Yeah, that's her. That's Annie.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, so that's Annie, that's the scientist's daughter, and then that's Peter Brady, Peter West, but we'll call him Peter Brady.
Okay.
And basically they're checking out the boat, trying to find any clues. There's a cop out there that's kind of casing the place, making sure nobody messes with evidence, but they came up with this harebrained idea to try to find their own evidence.
There's
So
no one home. Tell them to count their kids again.
down 4. Um,
Mendoza, hold on. Aaron says, "Do I look a lot like Dr. Sleaze?" I'll let Todd decide. We look like siblings. We share features, but he's like taller, he's skinnier. He looks like Shaggy from Scooby Doo. I'm a little bit more broad shoulder, broad chested. I'm like a couple inches shorter. So not really. And his hair is super dark and shaggy and clumpy, like white man afro. My hair's like a straw man, and it's kind of like dirty blonde.
Aaron's better looking
There you
than
go.
Dr. Sleaze.
That's why you're my VP.
Yeah.
But yeah, but if you see us, like we got like a family nose, we got like an eye thing, we got the lips, but that's kind of where it ends. But I would tell you we look nothing alike, and I've probably said that my whole life.
Yeah.
But then people have come up to him and me and be like, "Do you have a brother?" So other people see it. It's probably certain like expressions and looks, but it's there. Mendoza says sounds hot. Well, what you do in the shower to the thought of that, no harm, no foul, I guess, if I don't know about it. But my
Now,
brother will be glad to hear it.
do I look like my brother?
Yes and no. I don't. Yeah, you both look like your mom, but you guys
Okay.
don't necessarily look just like each other. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like I might be wrong, but I think your brother looks a bit more like your dad than you.
He does. He
Right?
does.
That's what it is. You both share features that your mom, but he looks a little bit more like your dad. But you kind of have like a similar stature. He's just you guys are like one of those Russian toy statues where you're the smaller one inside of him because he's a bit bigger.
Yeah, he's 6'5", 6'6", and I'm only 6'1",
But
so
you're both giants and you're both that. You look like brothers though.
yeah.
Okay. Adrian, this is your line. That is hot as well. Don't you want to wet?
It's
Oh, that almost doxed you. Don't you want? Well, your brother's name isn't Ryan Riverman, but for the sake of this it is Ryan Riverman. Don't you want a Riverman train ran on you? I bet you.
speaking of that, Annie and Peter they were getting caught by the cop, and they figured, okay, let's do this. Oh, we were making love on the boat, and we know nothing about this boat, so the cop just let him go. Okay, get out of here.
Yeah, I love it, man. You gotta. Everybody's got to have sex in some kind of like kinky place in these movies, man. But
Oh, absolutely.
that's what you get killed. I mean,
Yeah.
I literally has everybody getting killed in every Jason movie known to man.
Mm-hmm.
These guys defied the odds, and they didn't even get arrested.
No. That's a pretty smart move, though. I mean, the guy brought up the move, and I mean, he got what he wanted, on the boat and on the boat with her. So
Mm.
he's good.
So what if I know they're gonna go try and find the dad, right? They're gonna go to the island, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when they go to the island, what if they got their directions wrong, they charted incorrectly, and they end up at the Wicker Man Island?
That'd be
Discuss.
cool.
And all of a sudden they're with Christopher Lee, and it turns into a whole thing.
That would be cool, man.
Don't you
I
wish? I wish
I
we lived
think
in a universe like that where all these movies really existed. And it's like, oh man, I took a wrong turn. I got Freddy's on my back. I gotta leave Springwood, and you accidentally end up in Crystal Lake, and it's like, well, shit. Now I got this guy after me.
Well, why didn't they do that at the very end of this film? Because spoiler alert, them two, are in the boat. Why don't they go to the Wicker Man Island next? Like, oh shit, the next thing they do is a sequel to Wicker Man.
Yeah, I don't know. Gamer guy, the second half is set in the jungles and has a major Fulci Zombies vibes. You're talking about, he says the first Dead Island. The Dead Island game borrows a lot from this flick. I think, Todd, you tell me. I don't know if Fulci Zombie created the voodoo zombie, right? It's a thing.
No, the voodoo zombies have been around for
That's
years.
like the original zombie, probably. It's
Yeah,
probably
white
predates.
zombie. You got white zombie. You
Yeah,
have
but just the concept of like in voodoo culture, I think like
Revenge of the Zombie. I mean, you have a lot of these, old movies.
so it's possible that this being arguably the most popular, that it probably did influence the game. But yeah, it's definitely a thing. And there's what is the other flick? What's the what am why can't is it Beyond the Black Rainbow? What am I thinking with Bill Pullman? Is that the one, the Bill Pullman one? Oh, it's killing me because there's
I
two
don't
movies.
remember
Isn't
that.
there? Hold on. There's a few movies that have similar titles, and I don't want to get them screwed up. Bill Pullman voodoo movie. Oh, The Serpent and the Rainbow, Beyond the Black Rainbow,
Oh
Serpent and the
yeah,
Rainbow.
yeah.
And I always I get tongue tied. And I think there's a movie called Black Rainbow too, which sucks. I think I have it on an Arrow release. It's just not good. But sorry, I burped. But Serpent and the Rainbow, have you seen that?
Yes, yeah, I've seen it. I
Yeah,
haven't seen it in years. I need to rewatch it.
and I don't know if it's like a total voodoo zombie movie, but it is a voodoo movie. It's adjacent to this, and he goes to the island, and it's like the Caribbean and shit like that. And it's a whole genre of films. Which Serpent and the Rainbow is good too. I enjoy that.
Speaking of Dead Island probably ripped this movie off, like Gamer Guy was saying, because so the original script was written July 1978 by Sacchetti. His name was Sacchetti, and the title was called Nightmare Island. Was the name of the original script. And then after the success of Dawn of the Dead, the Italian producer reworked the script to add the zombies, called Nightmare Island, Island of the Living Dead. So he reworked the script to throw in zombies in there. So, yeah, it's and it's not the first voodoo because, like I said, I mean, there's a lot of older stuff. I'm not huge into the old black and white zombie stuff. I need to probably start looking at some of it though, because it's been years since I've seen any of that stuff.
So this Stacy right here with the It's Pat haircut, we're gonna see her titties.
Yeah, so this is boatman, boatwoman, and basically they're just trying to pay off these people to give them a ride to the island. So these
Mhm.
are just locals.
But she's gonna go
Brian and
skinny dipping,
Susan. Yeah, Susan's gonna go skinny dipping,
and we're gonna
and
see the whole the famous shark attack, right? The famous zombie
yeah,
shark. It's like a product of her going in the water, right? It's Susan, right? That does that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Susan does that, and once that shark scene comes on, I'll go through the whole story of the shark scene because
I
I did
this
some
movie.
research on it.
Okay, this movie iconic. And so me, I've only watched the movie, like I said, once, I think. Not yeah, once. And then even just watching it later in life, there was key scenes in this that I knew had to be iconic with the fan base
Yep.
because I had never heard of these, even though like I've lived in these circles for decades too. I've never heard of people really talking about the zombie thing or even the other scene, which is the wood shard or whatever going in her eye. But
Splinter
when
in
I
the
saw
eye.
those,
Yeah.
I'm like, these have to be the iconic scenes. Like they
Hmm.
just and the shark zombie scene is a little weird, but it works and
Hmm.
it makes sense. I'm like, if they're in the islands and there's ocean, why wouldn't there be a zombie in the water? Why wouldn't the shark want the blood of that? Now, I guess the thing that's a little weird is the zombie's actually biting the shark and getting a hit in before he gets the shark ends up getting away, right? Like I think he takes
Yeah.
the arm of the zombie and gets away. But that when we get to that scene with the eye getting protruded, dude, that's hard to watch. I was like, oh
Oh
god,
yeah.
I can't. You guys might see me like do this number. That's the old my grandpa used to do when there was a naked lady in a movie we'd rent. Be like, close your eyes, and I go. Remember watching Leprechaun 3 and the scene with the robot tits and Mitch, the owner of the Vegas
Oh yeah,
casino.
yeah, yeah.
And
Hmm.
then he's like, oh, the leprechaun. Sorry, he started leprechaun was poses that chick in the TV and pulls out her giant breasts. And my gramps is like, close your eyes, and I do this, and I'm like this, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden, and I'm watching as she turns into the robot and killing Mitch. Oh, and my grandpa's just going. He's like, I'm like, you tell us to close our eyes, but you're here dying, laughing, having a great time. Like, you don't think I'm gonna want to do this? Like, what does Gramps love
Oh,
so
they
much?
our grandparents did that all the time
Oh,
too.
you guys don't know what you're missing, but don't open your eyes. Oh,
We had to close them just for kissing too. Like if somebody was kissing on
oh,
screen,
that's
like
weird.
close your eyes.
Were you guys watching like Japanese perv movies where like kissing was like spitting each other's mouths or something?
No, just like made for TV movies or whatever was
That's
on
wild.
TV too.
Were you
Yeah.
guys Mormons? Were you conceived by soaking?
No, my grandparents are really religious.
Gotcha.
RIP, but they're good people, but I
Well,
mean,
that's my grandparents too. I
yeah.
don't know if like I'm not sure my grandparents would have went that far, but I'm also not sure I ever was in that scenario where I was watching anything where people were making out. I don't know. I get a lot of fond memories sitting in my Grammy's room. That's my mom's grandmother. We call her Grammy, and she would always like retire to bed before. My grandfather would always hang out in the living room and he'd watch Fox News until he starts drooling on himself and go to bed. But while he's doing that, my grandmother doesn't want any part of that. She would always go to the bedroom, do her night routine, and lay in bed and watch TV before everybody went to bed. And I would always go in there, and she would always we'd watch like Bloodsport and stuff on TNT, and it was
Hmm.
just I found it so odd because we'd kickboxer and stuff, and I found it so odd that my grandmother, because she's super religious, would even watch that stuff. But maybe sex is where they draw the line.
Yeah, I know that Mendoza wouldn't have been able to come over to my grandparents' house. I know that. They were pretty I remember I already told the story how we went to go see Home for the Holidays and we walked out, 20
Oh,
minutes
because of
into it.
the gay
Yeah,
couple.
yeah, and my grandma threw like a fit, dude, and she went up to like, the manager got her money back and like, how can you show this type of crap on, she was
But
going
there
crazy,
wasn't.
dude.
It was just Robert Downey Jr. came home with a boyfriend, but there was nothing sexual in it.
No, but she
It's just. It's just that he came home and that was the thing, he had to drop the bombshell on his
Yeah,
family.
yeah.
That
Yep.
is super conservative. Like, they don't even, like, make out or suck each other's dicks or anything.
No, yeah, they're pretty. They were pretty conservative, man. So
How dare you show us that? They didn't even suck each other off. Bait and switch.
I think they took us thinking it was going to be like a family kids movie
And
of
it
I don't
turned into,
know.
like, a dysfunctional family
Yeah,
thing. Yeah, I
functional thing.
gotcha.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So, can you hear my dog barking, by the way?
no.
Okay, because I'll endure it if you guys can't hear it. But he's like, he finds a perch in the window in the room right next to me, and he barks at somebody outside, and he'll just he's yapping away. All right, so where are
So
we
this is
at?
the scientist's wife here, or scientist's girlfriend wife. He basically is trying to find some sort of cure for the zombie disease, or the disease that are turning people into zombies. And she pretty much wants to get the hell out of there because she knows that zombies are actually coming from the other side of the island.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, "We're staying. I could do my research, all that other shit." So
Yeah, this guy gives me bootleg Fantasy Island vibes.
yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna go shut my dog up because he's really affecting me.
No, you're
I'll
good.
be
You're
right
good.
back.
So this movie is, I don't know, it's kind of like dreamlike. I don't know, when I see it, a lot of Fulci's films are like that. The Beyond is very, very dreamlike, and so is Gates of Hell as well. And that's why I kind of like him too, because he has his own style of filmmaking, and I just really appreciate the fact that it's like a dream, you know.
Talking about Fulci.
Yeah, he makes dreamlike movies, man. It's
Yeah, my first Fulci. What was the first Fulci movie you saw?
this one. This was my first one.
Okay, so my first one was House by the Cemetery,
Hmm.
and I think I was, gosh, I think I picked up a DVD copy at this used place that I showed Todd back in Missouri, the Entertain Mart place.
Entertainment, yeah, yeah.
I think that's where I bought it, and I bought it when I first moved to town because I used to live where Todd lived, and I moved, so I was 17, but maybe even 16. I was super young, and I bought it because I'd heard you talked about Fulci, and of course I'd heard Fulci, and the DVD. I still have the DVD. I think it's really rad looking. I actually love it,
Yeah.
and I watched it, dude, and that was my first experience with Italian overdubbed movies and the whole deal,
Hmm.
and it's just talk about the wrong first Italian
That is
movie
very, yeah, that is the wrong one.
to
Absolutely.
break your cherry with,
Hmm.
because it turned me off of them for quite a while. Because
Yeah.
I just thought, I'm like, wow, this is dog shit, man. And it's so funny because I think I've told this before, but since then, I then kind of got baptized with Argento movies, and which I think are way more palatable. And because House by the Cemetery is confusing as fuck, man.
Yeah. Well,
But
that's the majority of Fulci's films.
this movie's not confusing, but it, House by the Cemetery, you do not know what's going on, and try as you might to pay attention, there is no structured through line A B with this story, and yeah, it's just like, and then you have Bobby, right? What is it,
Hmm.
mommy? What is it? The
Yeah.
Notorious, and
He's so annoying, dude. Jeez.
it was only later on that I found out that everybody felt like me with that kid, and I guess he's just Notorious. But I saw that, I'm like, dude, what is this? Because I wasn't used to the overdubbed, and I'm like, that is clearly an adult woman doing the
Hmm.
voice of this dorky kid with a pig stout nose and cousin Oliver haircut, and but I might have picked it up because of Phil Anselmo of Pantera, because he was
Oh,
a
okay.
horror connoisseur, and he would talk about his favorite movies. Yeah, he lists House by a Cemetery as one of his favorite movies.
Hmm.
But yeah, like I said, it turned me off for a while. I watched it. I rewatched it as a lot later, including with Joe Bob not that long ago, and I have a little bit more of an appreciation for it. But it's still really confusing. But the final act with the doctor in the basement is creepy as shit, man. It
Yeah.
really is,
Yeah.
but the movie
It
just
is.
doesn't make any sense. Oh, hold on,
Oh.
stop. We got boobs. She looks so much better with that water cap on and
Ooh,
that It's Pat
nice
haircut. Are you kidding?
tits.
dude. And we got the G string. This movie is ahead of its time.
Yeah, and you got the shower cap.
Yeah, and she ain't got no bush puke. Oh, well, that almost looks like a landing strip when she put that on. She's probably got a big old bush, but I guess it's all right.
It's the 70s.
Well, we're about to hit the famous shark, man, right? I'm stoked.
Yep, that is coming up. So I can, before it jumps off here, I can kind of talk about this shark scene. I did some research on this. Okay, so basically they're saying that Fulci can't take credit for this scene.
Mm-hmm.
Having seen the film Tintorera, the killer shark, a few years previous,
Okay.
the producer, who is a Mexican producer, kind of saw how big Jaws and everything was, and pretty much wanted to throw this scene in here. And Fulci didn't want anything to do with it. But since he was the producer, because Fulci thought it would be kind of goofy and funny and stuff like that with the zombie fighting the shark, and
It
he
is.
wanted it's goofy, but it's so iconic, man. I mean, just think if he didn't throw this scene in here.
It's just kind of really neat, impressive to look at too. The fact that anything filmed underwater like that, and I don't know, it's cool. It's just it's you don't ever see that.
And okay, so okay, let me dive a little bit deeper into this. So the Mexican producer released in 1977, capitalized on the Jaws phenomenon, is essentially a softcore porn take on the sharksploitation genre. It's based on the novel by blah 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 and directed by blah blah blah, a Showtime shark trainer. So basically, this, as well as having swam in the 1948 Olympics, he later served in a diving guide. So, with Fulci refusing to shoot this scene, Tucky brought a second unit in. The plan was to use a real life tiger shark, second only to the great white shark in terms of the number of recorded human fatalities. Let's see.
It's a
In order to keep it placid, the shark was fed before the filming, and just to be on the safe side, pumped a load of tranquilizers into the creature too. Shocking, yes, but these were very, very different times. There's an assortment. There's a moment during the scene where the shark rips the zombie's arm off,
Yeah.
which invites visions of a zombie tiger shark transformation that sadly never comes to pass. Unbelievable. The credits forgot to. So the credits forgot to credit Bravo for his stealing the indeed death. Okay, so they didn't credit the actual zombie in the movie, which was
all
a
of that.
diver.
All
So
of that was just to say the actor didn't get credited.
he didn't get credited. He held his breath for 10 or 2 minutes or something down there. So pretty impressive. They were using a real life shark. They just pumped it full of tranquilizers and whatever, fed him a bunch of food, and he didn't get killed.
Is
which
that
is pretty crazy?
Is that considered inhumane to because you
By
give
nowadays standards? I'm sure.
I
I
don't know
don't
what it is
know.
they gave him because like you give your animal like stuff to calm him down before a stressful event. Take him on a flight, take him to the vet. So we're talking about different types of stuff. They I don't know.
Yeah, so basically the producer ripped this off from a novel and he thought it was cool, and Fulci didn't want anything to do with it. He just thought it was too goofy. But I love it, man.
It's a great scene.
It's creepy.
It's
It's
got
fun.
tension with the shark, obviously tension with the zombie. You got a beautiful woman in slow-mo swimming through the water, like you could just see every crevice. Frankly, it's would have been. I wish I saw this when I was a little kid because I probably would have, knocked out a few. To be honest with you, from being straight with you.
So here's where he rips his arm off, and if they would have had a transformation of a shark, a zombie shark, I mean that'd just be a little bit too over the top.
Yeah, I don't know how you could do that with it looking realistic. And
Yeah.
the zombie under the water, I mean, they're doing the best they can, but you clearly
I mean, look
saw
at this. This is crazy.
it's really cool. It's like a
Yeah.
showdown. He's wrestling with the shark, squaring off with them.
Yep, that's right. Gamer guy's doped up. That shark is doped up.
You gonna get a chunk out of him? Do you already get the chunk out of him? No, he's getting it right here. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, and he's really like making out on that shark's belly.
I mean, this guy is
A stud.
yeah. He's got some cojones.
Dude, oh, and then he gets the arm.
Yeah.
I wonder how they pulled that off. So like they fed him that and had blood capsules, or would they?
Yeah, they just sort of fake arm with, I don't know, probably like balloons of blood or something in them.
Yeah.
After he ripped that off, I'm sure he ran up to the surface or whatever to get out of there because of the blood was coming out. The fake blood. I'd be worried about other sharks too, though.
Well, I mean, did they actually film this in the ocean? They didn't film it in like a closed like tank?
I don't know, man. This movie was filmed in New York City, of course, Italy, and Santo Domingo.
This is a cool visual. This is the staple too of all these movies, is like the third world Banana Republic hospitals that have just the sun coming through the roof, and obviously they got just probably getting ate up with mosquitoes, man.
They got flies everywhere. They actually show video, like there's puke on their pillows and stuff. I mean, this is very effective the way they do this.
Yeah, and it's because it looks so uncomfortable. Can you imagine? First of all, being in pain and being sick as it is, it's got to be terrible. And then just when you're feeling good and you're like in the sticky heat and you got bugs all over you, that's bad enough. And you put the two together and it's just like, kill me, end me. Like, it's just so stupid. How I get it, they're poor, but is it really that hard to put something over the roof to maybe help, or like a mosquito net or something? I don't know. I guess that's their only source of light too, so they probably have that on purpose. I don't know.
I mean,
I should be more sensitive.
Yeah, he does a pretty good job too. I mean, he looks pretty disheveled and looks like a pretty solid doctor / scientist.
Gamer guy Will, he says, confession, I haven't watched many Italian horror flicks aside from a couple, and I still need to see the big Argento flicks. That's wild, man. You're missing out. You got a lot of homework, but you got a lot of good stuff ahead of you, man. I would say Argento, watch Suspiria, watch Phenomena, watch
Tenebrae,
watch Deep Red, and then Opera. I think Opera rounds out my top 5. Opera really is good. I think it's the last good movie he did, right? It's the late 80s, but I'd say it rounds out the top 5. I think it cracks it.
I still haven't seen his newest one, Dark Glasses or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Some people really liked it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll check it out. Is his daughter in that one too? Hasn't his daughter been in like every movie for 30 years?
Asia, yeah.
I thought it was Ozzy. I don't know what her name is.
Or
her name
maybe it's Ozzy. I mean, she was in Land of the Dead. I mean,
yeah, plus your doctor looks like shit. That makes it worse. Yeah, because he looks like he's got malaria too. It looks like he's got the meat shits, like he just got done eating like a big old T-bone. He's like,
can't even button up his white coat, dude.
I gotta drop a load. It's fucking coming out of my pores. You guys ever have that? The meat shits?
Oh,
yeah. The meat sweats. I mean,
meat
but
sweats.
it turns into the shits. The meat shits.
It's a daily basis thing there.
You know what they say about a fart? It's just a turd honking for the right of way.
That's why I wear boxer briefs, my friend.
Well, you're a normie and you succumb to society. You take the knee. I don't. I live the life I want to live.
And you had your regrets. I mean,
I don't have any regrets. I'll shit myself once or twice in my adult life in exchange for a huge amount of nights of comfort. It doesn't even compare.
Did you hear that?
I don't know what you're trying there with that bit, but okay. It's like, okay, that's not, I don't know if that's working. First of all, I thought it was funny how you had to step back and we clearly hear you like you're getting further away from your mic. It's funny. I don't know. Keep doing
there you go. There you go.
Yeah, this movie is definitely a little sleazier than Dawn of the Dead, man, the Romero.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the Italians make some good stuff.
I will say though, what's her name? Susanna. What's her name? The last chick.
Anna,
The chick. It's Pat Haircut. Sorry, who was that? The shark. Who was that?
the
The
Annie.
naked
Oh, Susan.
Susan.
Yeah,
I get it right.
Susan. Yeah.
She takes the cake, man. She's way better than her. She's the chick that gets the fucking eye, though, right? Oh,
Hmm.
I can't. I mean, she's got a pretty face, but Susan, she's winning in that body department. We need to get We need to get her back in here. We need to get them both in this room together, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? You don't know what I mean. You wouldn't know what I mean. Ask your friend.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Gamer guy knows what's up. That's a man with real high T count right there. This guy over
Well,
here, this guy Riverman, he didn't know what was up. But gamer guy,
Gamer guy needs to get some Evil Tunes action. He needs to start watching some Evil Tunes.
why don't you loan Riverman some of that extra tea you got, some of the extra overage and tea you got? Because
He's a lot younger than I am, so
oh
my
yeah,
tea's
no,
going down.
yeah. I know. It's same. I hate to admit it. What age is it appropriate to start like looking into testosterone? Like,
Now, I'm once I hit 40, I'll probably start, and I'm almost 40. So,
what is there any like downsides to it? Because wouldn't you always want more tea? I don't see why like not.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I already feel it, dude. I already feel like
Oh, I do too, especially with kids.
yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
but I feel like I feel more creative the older I get. Like, I don't know.
is that
Like,
because the
I'm
low T
just,
count and you're not so bricked up?
yeah, I'm slowing down, and I think about other things now. So also, I mean, it's true. I mean,
That's yeah, I guess so.
how about you?
I I miss the days when the wind would pick up and I'd get hardwood. I long for the days of being 12 and having to tuck it under the old belt loop before approaching the front of class to read a sonnet or a section of my book report, of which I copied from the back of the book.
Speaking of hardwood, Miss Maynard's going to get hardwood in her eye here pretty soon.
Oh yeah, like I said, maybe I wonder if it's one of those things where it made me wince and it's not as bad as I remember because I like
Oh, it's
I
it's bad. It's
because
bad. Yeah.
you know that effect though where you spend so much time kind of like trying not to see it where you paint the image in your head. But let's see. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, old marshmallow fingers gets
Yep.
crushed. Dude, I almost don't want to see it, man.
You need to. You haven't seen this in a while, so man, I'm looking forward.
I'm not looking away. Is it in this? Is it in the shot? Is it gonna?
No, you got a minute or so.
Okay.
There's build up to it. I mean, you'll see her getting pulled in, so you'll
Okay.
know.
Yeah, it's a really cool shot. Really cool close up.
And I'm sure it got cut in different countries.
Yeah. Speaking of cut, the opera box set, which I plan on doing a review for it. It's got both the theatrical, the US cut, and then the director's cut. And the director's cut only adds like 10 minutes, but from what I understand, it's like the violence that was cut out. So I watched the director's cut. I'm not positive that's the one I've seen before, but there was some violent shit I don't quite remember in it. So it's got some violent like some of the stabby stuff is pretty brutal in opera. All right.
Oh, here we
Okay.
go.
All right. So, wait, I gotta like Clockwork Orange myself.
Yep.
Oh no.
You got to full screen this.
Yeah, like the slow pull, the tension.
And you think it's going to get cut right here, but nope.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is it really kind of takes you by surprise?
Oh,
That's pretty brutal. Oh, I like she's turning into Daddy's all better.
Yeah,
with her scream, dude.
well, and it gets broken off in her eye, which is even worse, dude.
Yeah, that's
Giant
brutal,
splinter
man.
in her eye.
I could never watch this with my wife.
Yeah, she couldn't handle it.
No, I would have to be nice and be like, hey, you got to look away for this part. Just trust me. Take my word for it.
But I mean, that's an iconic scene with the shark, and then that. I mean, And it's just iconic.
Gamer guy says, "Why doesn't she escape through a window? Is she stupid?" Big oof. So have you not seen this
Where's she gonna
before?
go? She's on
Yeah,
an island
I
surrounded by
mean,
zombies. She knew they were coming.
it's better to his credit. It's better than being walled up in a room, though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's hard. I need a drink of Arnold Palmer Diet. That's what I need to drink of.
Oh, nice. Okay.
No Milos for me today.
Um. Okay. So, fun fact about this: this was shot in 1979 April, and they got done filming in May of 1979. So 1 month it took, and then it got released in August. So this was a quick thing, man. Quick movie, and it got pushed up. So I don't know
I
what you think about the. I love the original poster. I have the one sheet on my wall, and you know, every time I walk in my room, I stare at that. I mean, it's so visually stunning, dude.
No, it grabs you. It's yeah, it's incredible. It just pulls you right in.
Did I ever tell you about the time where I was wearing my zombie shirt?
I think you did, but refresh my memory. I think I know the story.
Okay, so I used to have the poster shirt that I wore to high
Uh-huh.
school all the time,
Yeah.
and I was over at my friend Travis's girlfriend's house. So I was over there, and they were all like, you know, where the friends were over. Hey guys, we're gonna take you all out to dinner, that sort of thing. I'm like,
Mhm.
okay.
Oh, like the family, the Travis's family? Or his
No, no,
girlfriend? The
no. His
girlfriend.
girlfriend's
Okay, yeah.
family. She's
Okay,
like, "We're
okay.
gonna treat the friends out to, a nice meal." And we're like, "Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna go to like Burger King or something." No, they take us to um Olive Garden. So
Oh, the fanciest.
the fancy, well, come on. I mean,
Okay, yeah, I know, I
it's
know.
still expensive. I mean, so they take us
I
all.
was thinking you were gonna say some fucking suit and tie affair. You're like,
No,
"No, no, no. You think we're gonna go to, like, fucking, Taco Bell, but they go all out. We go to the fucking the OG."
no, but so they basically they really didn't see what I was wearing. So once I sat down at the table, dude, ordered food, they're sitting across from me, like staring at my shirt, dude, and seeing like the worm eye zombie, dude. And they made me go to the bathroom and turn it inside out,
The
dude.
parents or the
Yeah,
restaurant?
the parents.
Because it was, like,
They were
affecting their
so
appetite.
disgusted, dude.
Could they see the tagline of the movie?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sure they could see everything. They saw the worm-eyed zombie, dude, and we're
That's
gonna eat you
so
and everything.
that's so funny.
Yeah, so I had to turn my shirt inside out because they were getting so grossed out when they were sitting there. I didn't know we are gonna go out to eat with them.
Were you even thinking about that when you took off your shirt? We're like, "Oh shit, they're gonna see my shirt." Or no, it didn't even come to your brain until they mentioned it.
I wore Freddy shirts to school. I wore Texas Chains. I wore all horror film shirts to
How
school.
how do they how does this conversation happen? Are they like talking amongst themselves first, or does like one of them just say, "Yo, ooh, you
Yeah,
gotta"?
yeah, it was like that. Is
Was
when
the
we were sitting down,
Were they
and
nice? Like, "Do you mind? We're sorry. You're trying to eat here."
they're
Oh,
like,
I
they're like,
remember this. I remember this girl, and I remember the family, and they were a bit stuck up.
Riverman, you need to change that shirt, or you need to turn it inside out or something. So I had to go to the bathroom of the not the Golden Corral, the Olive Garden, and turn my shirt inside out. Golden Corral, they think nothing of it, I'm sure, if I went there. But yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
That's so funny. Hey, that's so Gushy. Gushy says, "I always stayed away from this movie because of that cover." Really? I think
Hmm.
that's what would pull you in, unless you were younger and you thought it was too scary or whatever. But I don't know. I always thought the cover was striking, and I still, for some reason, stayed away from it. Not intentionally. It's just one of those things. You know what? Okay. You know what it is? That is 100% why I never watched this movie for so long. Is because of that Fulci stink. Because my first Fulci movie was House by a Cemetery. Full stop. That's why.
Have you gone back to House
Yeah,
at
I,
all?
I, I already told you. I told you I
Okay, you
watched.
did go. Okay, you did watch
Yeah,
it.
I
Okay,
watched it
yeah,
in recent years, and I watched it, like, I think last year, and like I said, I found a new respect for it. It's just
yeah,
I still acknowledge the movie makes no fucking sense
yeah, yeah,
whatsoever,
yeah, yeah.
but the last bit, man, is so creepy. Great villain, great final scenes. there's it's just not really.
I didn't know you went back to it that recently. Okay, I'm glad you. I'm glad you
Yeah,
did.
I
Look at the
watched it.
vomit on the pillow, dude. That's gross.
God, dude, it's really gross. What's in her teeth, dude?
I know. There's probably some
Can somebody pick that out, please? That's gonna make me
lettuce, dude,
vomit.
or something. I
That's
don't
yeah.
know.
It looks like. Is there something in my teeth? Yeah, it does. It looks like lettuce, and that's grossing me out more than any zombie, dude. Just get that shit out of your teeth, dude. God, we should add more crab action in this movie.
Yeah, that would be cool, man.
So I have a lot of respect for the pacing of this movie. I think it's wonderful, and I think there's a very clear through line. Like in it goes by pretty briskly. Like we're more than halfway through,
Yeah.
but I think we hit the halfway point about 10 minutes ago. And to me, there's a very obvious dividing part. Like I love how the second half, we're more island focused and all this
Mhm.
crazy stuff is happening. Feels very separated from the first half, but they still flow together. And it's just something about the change of the setting, the primary setting. It really helps the flow. But it's not boring. It keeps you in there. I know I've talked about it, but you know what else influenced this movie? I always quote it. Dies wir Blogan, Tetura bullets, good for killing zombie. Don't
Mm.
don't don't come at me. I'm just doing the accent. I'm not appropriating anything. But and to be fair, the actor was faking the accent. So, but did you guys ever play Corpse Killer? Like the old? It
I
was
did.
on Sega CD and then
I played
eventually
it in the
32X.
arcade.
I think it was on 3DO. Was
Was it
that
an
an art? Was it?
arcade?
No, it was an arcade.
What am I thinking of?
Like Time Crisis or something like
Maybe a
that? Or
Corpse Killer or something. Yeah.
Corpse Killer is the game I'm talking about. I already said
No, not Corpse Killer. What's the other?
House of the Dead.
One of those. Yeah.
Yeah, Corpse Killer is like the light gun game. It's a light. I
Yeah.
mean, well, I guess it's a light gun, but it's full motion video. So it's 3DO, Sega CD, and it was that whole era. And yeah, Gamer Guy, they re-released Corpse Killer. Great. They fucking answered all of our prayers. God bless them. Yeah, you can they released it on the PS4 and it's
Oh,
on the
32X. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, and it has a cover that was always I'd always grab me. I'd see that at like a Target or where we're from, like Shopco, dude. I'd see that behind the glass all the time, and I'd like, oh, that zombie's on there, and it looks really cool. And it kind of didn't look unlike a Fulci zombie to me at the time,
Hmm.
but yeah, so they re-released it. It's now on the PlayStation Network and the Nintendo Shop and all that stuff.
No, thank you. Do you even
Yeah,
have a light gun? I mean, how are you gonna play
no,
that?
you just use I didn't have I used to own it on Sega CD and I never had a light gun. I just used my Genesis controller, which was, it doesn't help the game. A gun wasn't going to save that game. But it
Yeah.
was so cool because yeah, it's all full motion video stuff and you play through levels and it's this whole setting. They're on an island.
Yeah.
And you got the whole zombies and you got it's in the Caribbean and it had the guy who played Mr. Vargas, Professor Vargas from Fast Times, the teacher.
Yeah.
Totally gnarly, righteous bucks. Yeah, he was like the bad guy, like Dr. Hellman. He was the mad scientist creating these voodoo zombies on the island. But
One thing we haven't touched on yet is
great scene. I love this. This is so cool. It's obviously the
oh
callback,
yeah, yeah,
but I think you get to see a little bit more of him, like the rising and stuff. It's creepy, man. Really
yeah.
creepy.
So this is her father or the father they're shooting here.
Uh-huh.
Her father. Basically,
We
he
got bootleg
turns.
Ronda Rousey.
It does look like Ronda Rousey.
A lot.
One thing we didn't talk about is the score of this film.
And that's great.
So
It's really cool.
Fabio Frizzi did the score of this. He also did a bunch of other Fulci stuff. I mean, he did The Beyond. He did City of Living Dead. He is fantastic. He's actually I think he's in his late 70s. He's still touring, and he's in the States here now. I mean, he's from Italy and everything, but yeah, the score is just phenomenal, man.
That's cool.
Um,
Why
with
don't you
the
ever
kind
thought
of
about
well, go ahead.
no, so you ever think about seeing these guys, these score guys that tour and stuff? Like
Absolutely,
Goblin
but
will
they
play.
don't come here where I'm at.
I
I mean,
Carpenter played here when he was on tour, and I think when it was quite a while ago, but like I think I was when I first moved to Phoenix, and I was kind of strapped for cash, and but I would have loved to have seen Carpenter.
That would have been sweet, dude.
Because he tours with his son and like they have a little band, but they play the hits, man. They play his lost themes and they play the classic themes from the movies that we all love. And yeah, I would love to see Goblin and all the live scoring that they do to movies and stuff.
So when I was doing research, I didn't know this, but they lifted the melody from the eye gouging scene from Beatles' "A Day in the Life."
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
Like totally lifted or just like snaked it and recorded their own like
I don't know, but that's what they were saying that
wow.
yeah, the shamelessly melodic lift from Beatles' "A Day in the Life."
That happens a lot though,
Yeah.
you know. Gamer guy's asking a question that's probably better for you. What was the other Italian zombie similar to this? Hell of the Dead or something like that is what he's asking.
No, it was City of Living Dead.
That's what I thought you were gonna say.
Yeah. And then
That's a cool cover too.
the Beyond was, that is just like a fever dream.
What's your
I mean, the gore in that is, I mean, it's even worse than this, man.
what's
It's
your top
crazier
what's
than
your
this.
top 3 or top 5 Fulci movies? Because I'm not a Fulci aficionado either. So I
Let me pull up his
I haven't seen all his flicks.
it would be, my top 3 is this. I go Zombie, I go the Beyond, I go New York Ripper, and then I would go the Beyond.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen New York Ripper's sleazier than hell. There's a lot of people that can't handle that either. But if you're into giallo, I think, Aaron, you would like it, dude. New York Ripper.
Yeah, I haven't seen New York Ripper, so I'll just
The killer has a duck voice, dude. It's hysterical. You might want to put that on your list.
I'm doing it right now because I get really backed up, and that's why I tend to do that when I hear stuff because like I'll forget about it.
There's some films of his I don't really care for, like Lizard and Woman's Skin. I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of that. That was kind of like a psychedelic giallo, early from '71. I really didn't enjoy that a whole lot. Zombie 3, no, wasn't a fan of Zombie 3. I never saw Demonia or Enigma. Those are kind of his later stuff from the '90s and
So
late '80s.
what brought him into doing Zombie 3 and he didn't do Zombie 2? Money, or like why would he come back and do that?
Well, this is Zombie 2.
Oh yeah, technically you're right.
So yeah.
So okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I got caught up in the fucking web of confusion with that for a second in my brain.
Yeah.
Okay. Did they get a no name to do 3?
No, he directed 3.
I meant 4. I meant you see, I'm getting caught in the wheels of the name confusion.
Yeah. Who did Zombie 4?
Chew. Consume tight. I'm getting like caught up in all the
Zombie 4 After Death. Claudio Fragazzo.
do I know his name? What else has he done?
He wrote Troll 2.
Oh fuck, maybe I know him for all the wrong reasons.
Let me see what he did early. Hell of the Living Dead. Oh god, that's bad. It's bad, but it's fun. He was an uncredited director for Zombie 3, so I think he helped out Fulci in Zombie 3. He did Monster Dogs, like he did Beyond Darkness. I don't think I've seen that. Night Killer, Troll 2. He was the director of Troll 2. Yeah, okay.
Okay, that has to be where I know it from.
Yeah.
Will is saying there's another one called Hell of the Dead. I think it has Bruno. I think it was a Bruno Mattei flick.
Hell of the Living Dead. Yeah, that movie's not great, but there's a lot of bad Italian zombie movies. Yeah, Hell of the Living Dead. So that's like a blatant ripoff of. Is that the one? Yeah, that's the blatant ripoff of Dawn of the Dead. So they even have like the names of the characters are pretty much the same, I believe, and they use the same score they used in Dawn of the Dead.
Oh wow, this is awesome. I like when they find her mutilated body and just
Oh
these
yeah.
zombies going to town. It's creepy, dude. This would have given me nightmares as a kid.
Oh yeah, man.
That this is brutal, and this is I think this is way grosser than anything in Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
And Dawn of the Dead had like campy violence.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, this is kind of like Day of the Dead type stuff, but this is more grotesque than Day of the Dead because it's just slower and more methodical, and they're really taking their time. It's kind of like with the whole eye jabbing thing. They let you soak into it, and they're not pulling away.
Hmm.
But yeah, this is a cool scene. The guy back there with the beard looks like bootleg. All right, all right, all right.
He does, man.
All these celebrities in this movie.
His zombies look. I mean, you could tell there. His neck isn't really
Yeah,
put any makeup on his neck, but
I did a local zombie independent feature film like when I was like 20. I answered this like Craigslist ad or MySpace. Maybe it was like a MySpace ad at the time. And I took a buddy of mine and we met him, and they had a whole lot of people and they were filming in the woods and they were doing makeup out of their house. And I was like, yeah, sure, we'll be in zombie movie. And we went there and we did it. And I don't ever know what happened to it. I actually remember the guy's name because
huh.
he had the same first name as me, Aaron, and his last name was Durst, aka Fred Durst. And I'm like, I'm never gonna forget Aaron Durst. But I never knew what happened to the dang movie, man, because I always wanted to see how shitty it turned out. Because there's no way it turned out good.
Was
But
it on IMDb at all?
I I'll have to hunt for it. I don't know.
I mean, if
I
you know his name, his director. I mean,
Yeah, I'll have to look him up and see what's up because it was just like local in the Ozarks, and so it probably. But he was doing like a shitty. I don't even know what the movie was called. All I know is I got in makeup. I had to go to Goodwill. It was super budget. No, actually, it actually wasn't too bad because they asked us to bring a tire. We were cool with getting trashed. And so we went to Goodwill. They said if you wouldn't need to buy anything, they actually compensated us for the receipts. Oh, you know what? I remember they said they were going to comp for the receipts, and I took my buddy and we went and bought some stuff. And then they actually never ended up comping us. And I remember my buddy was pissed. Like, I thought you said they're going to fucking pay us back. And so maybe it wasn't that good. And I don't think we got fed either. So it was probably rinky dink, but there's a lot of extras. And I just remember like filming, and then like we're like chasing the
he
and
played a zombie. That's funny.
yeah, and my buddy was just like the whole time, oh, zombie, 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 oh, zombie, zombie, zombie. And I remember I got a shirt said busting it in the bayou. I had no idea what the context
Oh,
was,
okay.
but it sounded funny.
Man, that is funny.
I'll have to see if I can track it down. I would love to see because I would see like a 20-year-old me and I'd be like, yeah, what happened to that guy? But I never knew. I didn't even bother following up. I literally just showed up and I don't know. I didn't give a shit.
Yeah, I ended up watching. It just popped up on my YouTube feed. It was a video of us talking about Walking Dead season 2, and I'm like, God, we look so freaking young, dude. And that was like what 2012. That was
Oh, that's where I'm like in Russia because we're like on that's actually a
yeah,
video. That's on video because
yeah.
we didn't do video content for many years after that. But on that one, we actually did that on video stream, like a Skype record. I don't know how we
Hmm.
pulled I don't even know how we pulled it off. You
I
probably
don't know.
handled it. But yeah, we didn't start doing video commentaries and video stuff. It's been within the last 3 years because 3 years ago I was going through the old stuff, all the videos, trying to like look at some analytic stuff, and even 3 years ago, we have like the career opportunities commentary, which was just 3 years ago. That was video, so we went
Yeah,
video at some point in the last couple of years. So the fact that we did a video commentary, and this is before we started regularly doing the Walking Dead stuff. We just did
yeah.
like an off episode, and I was in Russia, so it was 2011.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was in Russia, and you see me. I got like that wallpaper. I'll never forget it. I
Hmm.
recorded that. I'm like in this Russian.
You
Yeah,
in a
where
hostel or something or
no,
what?
I was staying in this Russian apartment with these like college kids. It's that story where I told you I walked in on like the gangbang. Did I
Oh
ever
yeah,
tell you that?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, great
It's pretty
times.
pretty typical over there, isn't it?
Yeah, man. I was jealous. I'm just kidding. I'm like, oh, I'm glad I don't hang out there. I got an apple.
Stinking there, dude.
I don't know. Smell pretty good to me. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. How's your friend? What'd your friend think? Is he good? Smells good as him.
He smells pretty fine.
That's right. Smells pussy now. I'm just kidding. All right. Sorry. So we got bootleg Martin Lawrence there. We got Island Martin Lawrence. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Uh,
So yeah, so they're basically just trying to get off the island at this point and
yeah.
trying to avoid the zombies. So this is, I mean, it just starts getting crazier and crazier. I mean,
Yeah, they're about to come across the cemetery with the conquistadors,
the
right?
Conquistador Cemetery, yeah.
And then I'm thinking, okay, somebody's got to die. We got 4 people hanging out, and that we're gonna get one of them's gonna get it. I think she gets it, right?
Yep.
In the graveyard. Yeah.
Yep. She gets it.
Hell
And
yeah.
this is where our friend comes back to life.
This is another scene. This film's loaded with some pretty iconic stuff. I don't know. Do you think this is more iconic? What's the most iconic scene? This one's pretty. We got the shark, we got the wood shard in the eye, and then we have the zombies rise from your grave.
And yeah, I mean, you have him
You
killing
got the cover zombie, you got the worm zombies. That's pretty. That
you got
helps,
the
right?
worm, and he kills the worm zombie with the crucifix. Yeah, wooden. I would say that the splinter still
Mm.
is the most iconic, but I mean, this is up there too. The Conquistador.
Conquistador. Yeah, let's lay on the ground. I don't know why. I just wouldn't do it. And a graveyard when there's zombies running around. Why would you lay on the dirt? Have these guys never seen a Fulci movie for crying out loud?
I know, right?
Jeez,
They lay in a graveyard, dude. That's crazy.
so stupid. But God bless them for doing it.
So another movie you need to watch if you like this movie is Burial Ground. So you have to put that on your list, man, because that is gorier than hell too.
I've seen that a long time ago, and I think I was telling you when I watched it a long time ago. But that, like I said, palates changed. When I watched it, I didn't care for it.
Yeah.
But there's so many movies like that I feel like I got to revisit now that I like now that I didn't used to like.
Yeah.
So,
and that's what's fun. I mean, I do that all the time now too. It's my taste change, every 5 to 10 years.
And that's a testament. I don't know if it's because maybe I could recognize that there was some merit and then it's worth revisiting, or if it's like, hey, this movie's got a fan base. I feel like I'm missing something. There's such a reputation that I feel like I got to give it another chance, and which is hard because it's already kind of depressing that we'll never get to see even a fraction of all the movies we want to watch in our lifetimes. There's just too much stuff. So sometimes I feel guilty rewatching movies because it's like, man, there's movies on the list. The list keeps getting longer and longer, but here I am, and I felt a little guilty watching opera last night. I'm like, I watched opera just a couple years ago. I really should be watching something else. I know I don't feel good. I don't, but
that's why you own them, man. I mean, yeah,
I know, but I always feel guilty because I got like such a list. Or like, for example, I have 4Ks, I buy them, so I got to watch them. There's the Worm Zombie. But like, for example, I've seen opera. So you would think I would put priority on a movie I have not seen yet that I own, which I do have some movies I've not watched. I've blind bought, and I have it. I'm guilty, like a lot of people are.
Oh yeah, I have a bunch of stuff I haven't watched yet.
And I feel like, why am I watching the? I feel like there's a hierarchy, and I just break it. But no, I shouldn't think like that. I should just watch what I feel like watching.
That's what I do. I mean, I buy like stacks of stuff when they're on sale most of the time. And then I'll buy stuff here and there.
I told you a few months ago, I just on my newer LG C3, I felt like watching the Chucky 4Ks. I've seen Chucky, I don't know how many damn
I hear
times.
they look beautiful. I own them. I haven't watched them
They
yet.
look so damn good. And I have a stack of stuff I need to watch. I'm like, and I've even watched I just felt like watching Chucky. I'm like, I don't know. I want to sit down with some popcorn and kind of like mindlessly watch Chucky. I don't know. Yeah, don't let him watch it. Yeah, he's
about to get his head smashed in.
Yeah. Oh, Daily Planet shirt. Yeah, okay. Yeah, great. The music's super effective. Oh, dude, that's like some cranberry sauce in there.
Yeah.
That's
It's like a honeycomb, dude, and cranberry sauce.
yeah, pretty nice. Oh, dude, she was the hottest chick in the movie. Let's all pour one out. I'll pour an Arnold Palmer out for her.
She well, I mean, she has the hair of the Bradys. I mean,
Yeah.
Bobby Brady.
Yeah, that she's good enough where it sort of like overshadows it. The hair, you know, but the hair's got to go, dude.
That was an 80s thing. I mean,
70s or whatever. I don't
yeah.
know. It looks terrible.
Did your family have like short like hair like that? I remember my mom had that.
Never. My mom always had.
She had the perm, and then she went through the
my
90s
mom.
phase.
Nope. My mom always had the same hair, and my grandmother's always had the same hair. You know.
Did they ever have the shoulder pads? My mommy always had like the
yeah,
suits,
yeah.
the female suits with shoulder pads, dude.
I don't. What was that trend about? Was that like, hey, we're lady bosses. We got to show them we're in charge.
Business suits. Like, I always used to go up to my mom and like, good game, mom. Hit her shoulder pads, dude.
Shut up, Todd.
Mm.
Like, you know what? This movie, Fulci has a thing for awkward close-ups.
Oh, they're great.
Like these awkward upwards close-ups that he does. You know, with not a very steady hand on the camera. It looks it's voyeuristic. It almost looks found footage sometimes.
Yeah.
With the approach to it. Oh, this is great use of the music.
Yeah.
When they're all rising from the dead.
That looks so awesome, dude.
It looks really cool. They're just like rising up through all that Folgers coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Great music. Great music.
I'd love to have the score. I don't own the score on vinyl. I would love to.
So I have a question. They're not really rising up with any force, but yet they're like buried 3 inches from the dirt. There's like that zombie was like 3 inches in the ground. He was like right underneath it.
Yeah, you think they'd bear the conquistadors pretty far down. I mean, they'd be down there for how many hundreds of years or whatever.
Dude, they live on a coast on an island. Their bodies would be up with the first storm.
That's true. Yeah,
the first storm and weather, you know, whatever. Reminds me of another time, Dr. Sleaze. I ever tell that story about the time without consulting anybody, he buried one of our dogs next to the house.
Oh no! Oh, and then he didn't bury it deep enough.
So I was at work. You know, he was probably 16, 15. I was at work, and my parents were at work. And we had a dog. His name was Doobie, and he liked to chase cars. Really rambunctious. He needed to be neutered. He's like a case for it. Mm-hmm. And opened the front door. He went darting through the cul-de-sac and chasing a tire. He loved to chase tires. He loved to chase cars, and he got hit. And then my brother didn't call anybody. He didn't consult anybody. We just came home like, where the fuck is the dog? And he's like, oh, he was like, I buried him. Like, what? And next to the house, not even like in the backyard, fenced, like on the side of the house, in between our neighbors and our house. He just buried it. Like, okay. And then
what's wrong with that? You bury your own, right?
He buried it
fucking like the Indians used to do.
He buried it 6 inches in the soil. And didn't put in like that thing. And that literally, that's what my dad said. Like the first rain we get, that fucking thing is going to come up, you motherfucker. Like, God dang it. I don't remember what happened if he had to like dig it up or I don't know.
Who do you think he is, Edward Furlong?
He's Dr. Sleaze. Yeah, exactly. What? Why'd you dig up my wife?
I wanted to fuck her.
Yeah, these gore effects are great, dude. Even looking at that slash foot, dude, it's so gross. Who does he look like? He looks like somebody. He looks like a Robert Redford bootleg. I don't know, maybe. Nah,
Robert. Really. He looks like a John Cena face.
So we lost Susan. We're about to lose her, right? Who else is gonna die?
Yeah. We'll lose everybody except Peter and Annie.
Okay.
And Brian will come. You know, he got bit like 3 times already. So
So in the grand scope of zombie movies, I know you love this one, but we already talked about Fulci movies. Like, uh, what's your top five? I think top three would be too easy. I'm surely this has to be in that list. But what's your top five zombie movies? I could guess a couple of them, obviously, and where they'd be, but top five.
Oh God. 2 through 5 is tough. I can't really. I mean, Dawn's one for me, and then I would put Day, and then I would put this Zombie, and then I would put Night,
Night 90 or the
uh,
original Night.
original Night, and then I
Okay.
would probably throw a Night 90 in there or something.
That's exactly the list I would have said. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're pretty predictable. But yeah, like I mean, yeah, I mean, like why there's so many bad, shitty zombie movies. Why wouldn't it be like the creme de la creme?
But I mean, zombie movies are always been my favorite subgenre of horror. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of people. I mean, I love like slashers now and stuff like that, but zombie is so comfort food to me. Like, I can watch, I buy shitty zombie movies knowing they're gonna be bad and
Oh, I
watch
know,
them.
Children of the Living Dead. Which,
Yeah,
by the way, is there any clamoring for us to do a Children of the Living Dead commentary?
I don't know. We'll have to put it in the poll. I mean, I don't want to do it, but that's
I
what people want to listen to.
just leave it in the poll and it'll never win. It's fine. That's
Maybe
all.
we can get Tom Savini to do a commentary with us.
Wouldn't that be funny if we like add a fourth option to the polls and it's always Children of the Living Dead,
We
Children of the Living Dead
should, dude. It'd be funny.
until it wins, and it'll never win, and it'll just be a running joke. Like, all right, the day it wins is the day it leaves the poll.
I would love to interview Savini about the movie, though.
Yeah, I kind of thought about going full circle and trying to get a Savini interview. Like it would be a total like M Bison moment where we built up this legend about him and how much he treated us like shit. And for him, it was just Tuesday. He doesn't remember us.
Isn't that a John Russo movie though? Didn't he do Chill the Living Dead?
I don't fucking know.
Yeah,
I don't
hold
know
on.
anything about that movie.
Because he was hawking some stuff on Facebook, like the fake guns that were on there.
I love that dude. He was beating the shit out of that zombie in the
Yeah,
skull. That looked like a real hit too. Like the sound effect was great. Yeah, I don't know. Only thing I remember about Children of the Living Dead is obviously the beginning and the barn, and there's like Tom Savini reprising like a bootleg version of Blade, and then the rest of the movie just being like one zombie because that's all they could afford, just kind of like wandering around a farm. All right.
it was terrible. The first 5 minutes was kind of promising, but yeah. Oh, that's
Oh,
sweet, dude.
it's really cool. Yeah, this is kind of the climax of the film.
Yep.
It's all shit. It's all just hitting the fan, man. That looks awesome. That's an awesome shot of him just savoring the bite of that flesh, man.
Yep. Like I said, I'm curious to see what you think about seeing this in 4K because I was very surprised. I was like, Blue Underground does some awesome 4Ks, man.
I
They do
mean,
the restoration is awesome on their movies.
it's tempting. I love it, dude. Like the look of him, like almost like God, the fresh zombie. I
Mhm.
I mean, it's tempting just to throw it in to just like skim it. I don't really want to watch it because I'm watching it.
No, I know, and yeah,
I'm gonna save it. I'm just gonna keep pushing it off and
oh,
saving it till I'm ready to watch it again.
okay.
Or maybe I'll watch it when you come down next, and we'll make the women watch it.
They wouldn't be into it.
I'll make a YouTube video of my mom reacting to Zombie for the first time, and I'll just have like
Has
a
she seen this?
no. My mom doesn't watch this fucking shit. Are you fucking
Oh,
kidding me?
okay. She doesn't watch
But,
Italian.
like, I'll just like put a camera on her, and then we'll have like a picture in picture, and like just her face reacting to like the eye. Ah!
Yeah, yeah, we should pause it and like, hey, come in here and make us a sandwich, and then we'll turn on the ice scene, dude, and just be like, see what she says, dude.
I make the fucking sandwiches in this house. Who the fuck
Oh,
are you
okay.
talking
I'm
about?
sorry. I don't
But
know.
no, you know what's funny though is I've done that before. I'll be like, remember, I told you I made her watch like unsolicited like movie clips, and I made her watch the Freddy Got Fingered baby scene where he's like giving birth to the baby, and I was just getting her raw reaction. So I think that'd be awesome. I think we should do it
Yeah.
next time you come over. We'll have to do it. We'll like do a picture in picture video because her reaction would be she would have a heart attack. It'd be great. No, it wouldn't be great, but you know what I mean. Hey,
Yeah, I
Mr.
understand.
Conrad 83. It looks amazing in 4K.
Yeah.
Is that a picture of Robert Conrad? I can't tell. It's so small. Is this like a homage or is your name Conrad?
I don't know, man. Thanks for watching though.
You broke my little mirror. What?
What's that from? You broke my. Oh, that's Jingle All the Way.
Jingle all the way.
Yeah,
That's Robert
you broke
Conrad,
my.
right?
Yeah.
Like the A B
Yeah,
backwards.
yeah,
Oh, dude, looks fucking sweet.
yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
Oh,
I wonder if you put like a compilation of the Savini kills and then these kills and just back to back. This could actually probably go toe to toe. Like some of these are really impressive.
yeah. Oh, yeah. They're fantastic.
I also appreciate the lack of a bra she's wearing.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
More feminine version of Ronda Rousey.
Fulci knew what he was doing, man.
He's a sleazeball dude, I can tell.
Now, now they're starting to come into the church or whatever, and they gotta set it on fire. They gotta burn these zombies up.
Oh no, not bootleg Island Martin Lawrence. He's got a titty out too.
You just gotta shoot him in the head.
He was Riverman here he was obsessed with zombies, man. In high school, zombie this, zombie that. Like I said, he'd be running around with a zombie Fulci shirt. And I remember when we went to a Best Buy and you were gonna like buy a game. And I think there was one game you were wanting to buy. I don't quite remember what it was because PS2 was pretty new and you had a PS2. And maybe you were wanting to buy Tony Hawk 3. It probably not. I think maybe you already had that, but let's just say it was Tony Hawk 3 for the sake of argument. You went to the store to buy a particular title, and I convinced you to buy Code Veronica, Resident Evil Code Veronica. And I remember like I swayed you because I had it on Dreamcast. And I'm like, dude, it's great. It's really good. And then I remember you just going, man, I must really love zombies because I'm loyal. You're like, I must really love zombies. And you bought that. And I don't know if you ever actually beat it, but I still love that game.
Code Veronica, yeah.
Oh, such a good game. But you're like, I must really love zombies. You did that.
Oh god, that's cringe, dude. I said that.
You're loyal to the zombie soil, dude.
Oh, hey, remember what's that band? I bought a CD just because the cover was cool, dude. Was it
Brother Theodore from the Burbs? Okay, that's right.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead. What were you saying?
Remember we went to Best Buy that one time and I bought a CD just because the cover looked cool and it had zombies on the cover. I think it was it like Mortuary or who was that?
I don't know. I don't remember that.
Was it Mortuary?
I remember I bought Viking Crown because it had Phil on it and it was dog shit. We've all made that mistake where you buy something and you just
and this was prior to internet, so you couldn't listen to it. You're just like blind buying CDs and you're like, oh, let's hear this.
It was so much more exciting though. So exciting because it's like that gambler's itch. You're putting it all on the line. And when you're that young, $15 or $20 was all on the line. Like you're just throwing it out on the table. I'm going to bet on this cover. And you know what? It's how I discovered my favorite records of all time. So it was well worth it. I'd say it hit more than it missed, to be honest with you, because when you're younger,
I agree.
When you're younger and you're spending your own hard-earned money on something, and it's rare that you can spend that kind of money, and you've already associated the ritual of walking up or me walking up to the store and just the ritual of buying the record, looking for it. You've invested so much into it to where I'm going to absorb this record. And you're young, so you're impressionable, and you're just taking so much new stuff in to where you almost learn to love it because you're absorbing it for the first time.
Yeah.
So I it took a lot more to really be like, wow, this sucks. And sometimes the proof is in the pudding where some of that stuff, as I've gotten older, I've outgrown. Some stuff I love. I'll go back and like go down memory lane. Some of it I'm like, yeah, but yeah, back then.
Viking Crown didn't do it for you, huh?
No, because it was one of those fucking recorded in someone's outhouse, dude. Just fucking you couldn't hear anything. But to fill in someone's credit, he even says like, I feel sorry for anybody that bought that. Like, sorry, that's not a like, well, thanks. You told me now. You should have said that. I should have said that when I interviewed him. Like, hey, Phil, I'm one of these guys that bought the Viking Crown CD. You gonna sell me, bro? You gonna sell me back? Anyway. Yeah. Oh, fucking all right. Just got it.
Yeah, he did.
That whole sequence we just saw with the music playing and that synth melody playing, it was so cool in the house.
So there she is, killing Susan.
Yeah.
Susan Zombie.
So we're down to the last. Well, he dies because they get to the boat and they lock him up in the boat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's gonna turn.
And God, this ending scene is where the newscast or the telecast, the radio cast comes over and says, "Oh, they're coming in the studio! Oh my gosh!"
Yeah, and speaking of that's really great. Speaking of the end, though, I love the story of filming on the bridge, the gorilla shot.
Oh, it's fantastic.
The fact that they got like he just got lucky. It's like you show up and they maybe would they have it closed down for some kind of work or whatever. I don't know what it was, but they showed up early in the morning and no cops busted them and it was empty and they stole the shot and they didn't just steal a quick shot. They had the extras. They had those zombies walking across the
They
bridge.
gave them $40 each. They said
it is absolutely insane that they got that shot and just I don't know to be a part of that. To
the
be able to
Brooklyn
say,
Bridge, absolutely, man.
was it the Brooklyn or the George Washington? Is it Brooklyn?
I thought it was Brooklyn.
I don't know.
Brooklyn
I don't know.
Bridge.
But to be able to say, "Hey, I was one of the extras and we stole that shot," and it's just iconic. It's just awesome. I wish
And then I mean, it makes you wonder. Like, okay, I want to see the next film. Like, okay, so they're in New York. The zombies are in New York.
Oh, I didn't even see that. I haven't watched the next one. So, like, what is Zombie 3? Like, what is the?
Oh, I don't.
Does it take off?
I don't even know.
Does it continue?
Remember. I don't even remember. It was so bad, dude.
He's
Terrible.
coming, dude.
I don't think it was.
He's letting one go.
God.
So what?
That
was
a good face, dude.
So if you remake this movie, do you or do you not cast Jeff Daniels in the role of that guy? But yeah, in this guy, the main guy here, he's one of those stories where he was a real actor. And isn't he ashamed of this movie? Wasn't he like one of those like highbrow theater guys? Like, I want to be taken seriously. And he did this movie for the money or whatever. And it's just one of those things where it became the thing he's known for. And right. Isn't he one of those guys?
I think so. I didn't look too deep into Peter West, but yeah, I'm sure he's pretty highbrow when it comes to this, which I don't know why you would be, because this movie is just so great.
I mean, I can understand it if you had certain ambitions and you're younger. What I'm not, maybe he doesn't feel that way now. Maybe he's older in hindsight. I don't know, but I can understand it. It's like if I wanted to be the next, I almost said Brando, or if I want to be the next Jack Nicholson or whatever, and then I fucking made a sleazy skin flick like Evil Tunes just to pay the rent one time, and then Evil Tunes is the only thing that ever like had any kind of buzz, I'd be like, all right, especially probably since I probably didn't make any fucking money making Evil Tunes. It's like I'm not seeing these residuals, but God, that's what I'm known for, So you know what I mean? Can you imagine? Like, God, Dick Miller made more than me for Evil Tunes, and he worked for pizza for 2 hours, and I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, that's right, dude. He says great score, great ending, iconic. Agreed.
Absolutely, man. Hey, if you guys want more Fulci, I mean,
I love it.
Yeah. Oh, this is sweet.
Dude.
They're at the door. They're coming in.
Ah! Dude, the way the shots are set up on the, I probably should.
Beautiful, dude.
I should watch more Fulci. Are all his movies shot like this? Does he always work with the same DP?
Man, he's very unique. Check out The Beyond and tell me what you think of that. This is twice the gore in The Beyond.
I love it.
Yeah.
Such a great score.
I would love to have a painting of that, dude. Just the zombies walking across the bridge, dude.
Yeah, all lo-fi like this, and it looks like shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, the Twin Towers in the background. Yeah.
I thought you meant like a still on your wall. It would look as good as your signed George Romero poster of 8x10 I got you, where it's like all grainy and shitty.
It's terrible.
Should have listened to me and gotten a better. Like, you sure you want that one?
Well, it wouldn't have mattered because it got waterlogged in the mail, dude. You should have put it in plastic.
It's my fault. Okay.
No, it's not. It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
It's your fault usually is preceded by you should have, but okay.
Well, you wouldn't know it's supposed to rain.
We don't even get. Was that what happened to the rest of the credits? Is that
it's quick? It's quick, dude.
That was it.
Yeah, that's quick.
Any iconic shot with the Twin Towers too is like kind of harrowing. It's
Yeah,
kind of creepy. Um, dude, fantastic, great movie, and want to thank everybody for joining us, man. I had a blast doing this
absolutely.
one,
I did too.
and there's just something. There's a secret sauce when it's a movie you really appreciate, and I know how much this one means to Riverman here, and we're gonna throw more polls out there. We are going to do. If you guys are listening to this after the fact, then we've already got this up most likely, and we've got John Carpenter's Vampires, and we're going to do the same thing if you're here live next Wednesday 8:30 p.m. Central Time, and we're going to do it again Friday 10:30 p.m. Central Time, and we're going to put up polls, and we'll probably tackle a different genre and just see where we land with that. But thank you guys so much. I want to remind everybody not to throw a pity party. We're kind of in like YouTube prison right now. We got demonetized a couple of weeks back. We have to wait till October to get it back. Naughty, naughty. But if you guys want to support us, we do have a Patreon up. That's always going to be linked below. Otherwise, please like the video, give us a comment, help us out with the algorithms, help us keep growing while we get through it. And hopefully you guys like the new overhauls on the channel. We cleaned up the
I
place a little bit.
I worked hard on those logos, man. Hope
We
everybody
just
likes them.
but we designed it together.
We did. We did.
Todd wanted to go the AI route. I'm like, not on my fucking watch.
I did, but I'm glad you talked me out of it because I had a lot of fun doing it.
Todd is like always like AI. Let's go for the AI. It's there. It's so easy. It's right there. And I am trying to fight it off like the plague. Like, no, you know what AI is good for? It's good for finding timestamps. It's good for transcribing. Those are the tools that we should be using it for. I'm like, Todd, like literally, we could cook up a logo. We could find we don't need AI.
I'm not a graphic designer, so it took me a while to come up with stuff with Aaron. So,
but anyway, when I'm right, I'm right. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Your buddy agrees with me. So yeah. So anyway, help us out with the algorithms. Leave a comment. We love it. And really quick, we're not doing gaming or anything on this channel. I know we've done streams in the past here and there. We're gonna keep it all separate. We gotta clean up the YouTube, and we gotta please the algo gods, and we gotta get our monetization back and all that crap. So we create a separate gaming channel for whenever we do want to stream. It's called Revival House Plays. Super unique, I know. I'll try and link that in this video. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff I can't think about, man. I'm all fried from the zombie action. But thank you guys, everybody. We'll catch you later. We'll catch you Wednesday. Be there. And when we post the live stream up, right, in advance, a few days in advance, like we did with these, hit the notification bell, man. Help us out. I'm sure that notification bell and that like in advance, it helps because it's going to alert you and it's going to remind you that we're going live. And B, it probably helps us out. It's probably going to help. Us. Yeah, it'll boost us, right? We want that. So, all right, guys, have a great weekend.
See you.
Bye. Later.